Alright, so this is a Google Flow Music, a new AI tool from Google that you can use to generate songs or music using a prompt. And I actually have made some videos on how you can generate and even do remixing using Google Flow Music. You can check those videos on my channel. But the focus of this video is how you can use the two features that I just recently discovered when I'm using or messing around with all the things in Google Flow Music. So the feature number one that I'm going to discuss in this video is how you can separate the, let's say, the vocal from the instruments of a song. So this is actually pretty cool, especially if you are planning to target the editing to a specific track of the audio. You can do so with this feature. And the second feature that we are going to discuss in this video is how you can apply a sort of audio effect to your music or your song. And this is actually really amazing and really fast because it is not involving the AI model for music generation. It is almost like applying equalizer to the song. So it's going to be more accurate, faster, and you will be surprised on how many things that you can apply to your audio. But anyway, let's start with the feature number one, which is isolating the vocal or the instrument from the song. Now, I have this audio, this music that was created using Google Flow Music, and I guess I'm going to give you a quick preview on how it sounds, so later we can compare it against the version that will be modified by these two features. Okay, let me just play the audio.
Salt on the tongue, heavy water in the chest, and you're still there.
Okay, so that's how the song sounded like. Now, this is a prompt that I'm going to use, and let me just give you an example. Create stems from this music. Actually, it's very simple. Now, of course, this is not the only way. You can phrase it in a different way. Like you can tell it to isolate the vocal from the instrument or vice versa, or perhaps you can tell it how to separate them. There are many ways you can describe it, but basically it's going to create something called stems, which is a sort of construction of the song. It might have, you know, some bass, drums, vocals, and many others. So just wait until it finishes, and at the moment there are only 4 labels that we got, and hopefully Google will add more in the future. But right now you will only see like drums, bass, other, and vocals. So drums and bass are quite obvious, and vocals is also quite obvious. But the other label here is actually anything else. So if you have a song that contains instruments like guitar or piano, then those will be labeled as other, which is not very helpful, but at least we have this feature. But anyway, let me explain all the things that you might see on the screen. So there are letters like M, S, and FX, but what are the meanings behind those letters? Well, M stands for mute, meaning that if you select this, then these drums will be muted, but everything else will be audible. Let me give you a quick demo.
I hold the weight.
Yeah, I think you got the idea. Okay, I'm going to start all over again. How about the S letter? Well, S stands for solo, and this is the opposite of mute. So if you enable this, only drums will be audible, but everything else is muted. So I'm going to play the audio again.
Heavy water in the chest, heavy water in the chest. I hold the
Okay, so how about FX? Well, FX means effect or audio effects. So at the moment, the button is not exactly clickable, meaning that maybe they're still working on the feature, or perhaps there are some requirements on how you can actually enable the FX feature. But we can actually still use it. So I'm going to talk about it later, but for now, if you like this separation, you can click this download button, and basically you will get a zip file that contains all the files or all the audio tracks that were separated by Google Flow Music. Now in this case, as you can see, I got only 3 different files, which is kind of strange because in the example here, there are 4 labels. Now, there is no bass in the file that I just downloaded because apparently in that song there is no bass whatsoever. I'm not quite sure why, but even though I can see that the audio track is here, so apparently it is not the bass. So maybe it is just a glitch or something else. I'm not quite sure, but it will be, it depends on how many tracks that AI might attack in the audio. But at least you can get the files and perhaps you can use it on your project. You can also use perhaps the instruments only for karaoke, because obviously you can remove the the vocal track from the whole song. Anyway, let's move on to the second feature, and this is related to the audio effects feature. So you can apply effects. Again, it's almost like adding equalizer to the song. So I'm going to create a new session. I guess I'm going to remix. Let me just maybe duplicate the page first. So I'm going to apply an effect to this particular song. Okay, so here I'm going to use this prompt. Apply audio effects to make the music to sound like it is being played in a hotel lounge. Okay, so you might want to include some keywords or commands or prompts that specifically mention that you want to apply some sort of audio effects, because that way it will signal AI that you want to modify something in the song, but you are not necessarily want to use the AI model to regenerate the whole song. Again, you just want to change certain values or settings in that audio. And there you go, we got the result pretty much quickly, because it is again not utilizing the AI model, it is just changing the settings behind the scene. Now let me just play the audio and let's see or let's hear how it sounds.
heavy water in the chest, heavy water in the chest.
Yeah, basically it sounds more nostalgic because of that echoey effect. And by the way, it is definitely possible to apply the effect to a, let's say, the vocal or the specific instruments from the previous feature. One example is this one where I have, where I have a sort of disco music, and then as you can see, we got this workflow sort of flow that was used by AI. As you can see, it is applying many effects, like it's adding this chorus, delay, reverb, gain, and many others. So these settings, these numbers are something that I'm not familiar with, but with just plain English language, I can describe about the effect that I want to apply. Now in this case, I just applied that to the vocal, and I'm making the vocal to be to sound a bit echoey, and the rest sound normal. Now let me give you an example. Yeah, I hope you can notice that, because the instrumentals are fine, quite clear, but the vocal has that echo effect. So yeah, this is one example of an audio that was modified using the audio effects feature. You can see the result by clicking the effects button to see what are the settings that were applied to that particular audio. And yeah, that's basically the two features that I just want to talk about in this video. And of course, there are many cool things that I believe you can explore more in Google Play Music, and I will try to cover as many features that I could find in this platform. But anyway, I hope you learned something from this video, and if you do like this video, then you can check out the other tutorial that I have created on my channel. So click this video and I'll see you there.